Imagine a nation sitting on trillions of dollars in wealth, a place of immense power and dazzling modernization. You'd expect bustling metropolises teeming with people, right? But what if I told you that one of the world's absolute richest countries is paradoxically one of the most empty? We're talking about vast, untouched landscapes, deserts stretching for hundreds of miles with hardly a soul in sight. How can a place with so much money have so few people, especially when compared to its explosive wealth? Is it the harsh climate, deep history, or something far more complex? Prepare to uncover the astonishing paradox of Saudi Arabia, the kingdom of riches and desolation, as we dive deep into the unique forces that have shaped its population, economy, and future. Stay with us until the very end to glimpse the incredible vision for a nation unlike any other. Welcome to Young Curiosity, where we unravel the mysteries that shape our world. If you're fascinated by hidden truths and surprising global facts, you're in the right place. Please take a moment to smash that like button, subscribe to Young Curiosity for more mind-bending insights, and tell us in the comments where you're watching from. Your support helps us bring these incredible topics to life. First, let's grasp the scale of Saudi Arabia. It's the largest country in the Middle East, covering over 2.15 million square kilometers, 830,000 square miles. That's roughly the size of Western Europe. Yet its total population is around 37 million people. Compare this to Germany, which is less than 1/6 the size of Saudi Arabia but has over twice its population, at 84 million. Or Japan, which is just 3% the size of Saudi Arabia but has 3.5 times the population. At 123 million, the numbers are striking. Most of Saudi Arabia's population is concentrated in a handful of major cities: Riyadh, the capital, Jeddah on the Red Sea, and Dammam on the Persian Gulf. Step outside these urban centers and you'll find immense, sparsely populated expanses of desert. This vast emptiness isn't an accident. It's a defining characteristic shaped by powerful natural forces. The most obvious reason for this emptiness is the harsh desert climate. Saudi Arabia is predominantly an arid and hyper-arid desert dominated by vast sand seas like the Empty Quarter, Rub al-Khali, one of the largest continuous sand deserts in the world. Temperatures regularly soar above 40 degrees, 100 deep Bordeaux, and can exceed 50 degrees, 122 in summer. Rainfall is minimal and highly unpredictable, averaging less than 100 millimeters, 4 inches, annually in most areas. This extreme heat and lack of water make large-scale agriculture virtually impossible without massive irrigation projects, and human habitation incredibly challenging. Historically, populations gravitated towards oases, fertile wadis, riverbeds that are usually dry, and coastal areas where water sources allowed for survival. This natural constraint forced early settlements to be sparse and concentrated around vital resources, leading to a largely nomadic Bedouin lifestyle for centuries, with populations shifting based on resource availability. Beyond the climate, historical factors also played a significant role in shaping the current demographic landscape. For millennia, the Arabian Peninsula served as a crossroads for lucrative trade routes connecting east and west. However, its interior remained largely undeveloped and sparsely inhabited due to the inhospitable terrain and lack of permanent water sources. Early communities were primarily centered around key trade cities like Mecca and Medina, which also served as religious pilgrimage sites or consisted of scattered nomadic tribes adapted to desert life. The formal unification of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia in 1932 brought these disparate regions and tribes together under one flag. But the immense, challenging desert remained a natural barrier to widespread, dense settlement. There was no historical imperative or widespread natural resource, other than what would later be discovered beneath the surface, to encourage large populations to spread out across the arid interior. The traditional economy was inherently diffuse, based on caravan trade, religious pilgrimage, and very limited agriculture confined to isolated oases, none of which fostered dense, widespread settlement. Then came the game changer, oil. Discovered in vast quantities in the 1930s, particularly in the eastern region, oil rapidly transformed Saudi Arabia from a relatively poor desert kingdom into one of the wealthiest nations on earth. This immense oil wealth fueled unprecedented and rapid urbanization, but this development was highly concentrated. New infrastructure, industrial zones, and booming job opportunities primarily sprouted in existing major cities or strategically built centers directly connected to oil production and export. People migrated internally from rural areas and smaller, traditional settlements to these booming urban hubs, drawn by the promise of economic prosperity and modern amenities. This accelerated the centralization of the population in major cities like Riyadh, Jeddah, and Dammam, rather than encouraging outward expansion into the vast, empty regions. The oil industry itself, while generating immense national wealth, is not labor-intensive in the same way traditional agriculture or manufacturing might be. It doesn't require a huge dispersed workforce, further contributing to the low population density outside of these urban centers and industrial zones. The country's socio-economic structure further contributes to the perceived emptiness. A significant portion of Saudi Arabia's total population consists of expatriate workers, estimated to be over 13 million, representing nearly 37% of the total inhabitants. These expatriates are largely concentrated in urban areas, forming a crucial part of the workforce in sectors like construction, services, healthcare, and the oil industry itself. While they contribute significantly to the vibrancy and economic output of the cities, they often reside in specific compounds or districts and are generally not integrated into the traditional rural or interior fabric of the country, leaving the vast interior sparsely populated by Saudi citizens. Furthermore, the government's comprehensive social welfare programs, while ensuring a high quality of life and economic security for its citizens, do not necessarily incentivize living in remote, harsh areas away from modern amenities, education, and healthcare access. Paradoxically, Saudi Arabia is now actively trying to fill some of this emptiness, but in entirely new, groundbreaking ways. The kingdom is undergoing a massive national transformation under Vision 2030, an ambitious plan aiming to diversify its economy away from an almost exclusive reliance on oil and become a global investment powerhouse, a hub for innovation, and a major international tourism destination. A cornerstone of this visionary plan is the ambitious construction of mega projects in previously undeveloped desert regions. The most famous and audacious example is NEOM, a monumental $500 billion futuristic city being built from scratch in the Talbuk province in the northwest of the country. This includes The Line, a groundbreaking 170-kilometer-long linear city designed to house millions of people in a sustainable, car-free, and emission-free environment, pushing the boundaries of urban living within the desert. Other significant projects include the Red Sea Project, a sprawling luxury tourism destination along the pristine Red Sea coast, and Qiddiya, an entertainment mega-city rising near Riyadh. These unprecedented projects aim to attract both domestic and international talent, investors, and tourists, creating entirely new hubs of population and economic activity in areas that were once barren wilderness. They leverage cutting-edge technology, vast investments in renewable energy, and innovative urban planning principles to overcome the traditional challenges of the desert environment. NEOM, for instance, plans to utilize advanced desalination techniques for water supply, implement vertical farming for food security, and integrate comprehensive smart city infrastructure to create livable, thriving communities where extreme heat and lack of resources were once the only rulers. These are not merely cities, they represent audacious, attempts to redefine human habitation in extreme environments and to strategically populate previously empty spaces, driving forward economic diversification and creating abundant job opportunities for future generations. However, these incredibly ambitious projects face significant hurdles. The sheer scale and astronomical cost are enormous, pushing the boundaries of what has been achieved in urban development. Attracting and, more importantly, retaining a diverse, skilled, and international population to these new cities in what are still fundamentally harsh climates, even with luxury amenities, is a massive and complex undertaking. Environmental concerns, including long-term water sustainability in an inherently arid region, the impact on delicate desert ecosystems, and the carbon footprint of construction are also critical considerations. Despite these immense challenges, Saudi Arabia's determined drive to populate its empty spaces with these futuristic developments is a testament to its unparalleled ambition and its vast financial resources. It represents an unprecedented real-world experiment in urban planning, technological innovation, and audacious nation-building on a scale rarely seen before. Ultimately, Saudi Arabia's paradox of vast emptiness combined with immense wealth is a complex product of its extreme geography, its deep historical roots in nomadic lifestyles, and the highly concentrated economic prosperity generated by its colossal oil reserves. But the kingdom is no longer content to let these historical and environmental factors solely define its demographic landscape. Through these audacious megaprojects and transformative visions, it is actively attempting to reshape its future, striving to transform barren deserts into vibrant beacons of modern living and economic dynamism. The paradox of wealth and emptiness is continuously evolving, as Saudi Arabia strives to build entirely new centers of human activity in places long untouched by dense populations.